What's up, everybody? Welcome to the LTC Bowling Show. I've got some flow bowling on here. I'm actually watching the Cheetah Championship as we speak. I just had to turn the volume down a little bit so you could hear me talk. But we're going to talk a little bit today. It's another request for Build Your Arsenal. So we're going to talk about the Motiv brands. And we're going to build an arsenal based on the numbers there. I'm going to explain out the number system just a pinch more. Again, for those who haven't heard it before, but we're going to build an arsenal based on the Motiv website and everything here. So stay tuned. All right, welcome back. We're going to build an arsenal now. We're going to do it based on these numbers. You can see the spreadsheet that I have up here. I've listed all of the bowling balls from solid, hybrid, and pearl in order, so that way you guys can see the actual total number. What these numbers mean is, and I know podcast listeners, you can't see them, but I will make sure to talk about them and make sure I mention every number so that way you can follow along just as easily as if you're watching on YouTube. No big deal. But what we've got here is we've got a list of bowling balls. The lower the number, the more total overall hook you should see, or the strongest cover core combination you're getting out of those bowling balls. So I've got numbers all the way from 187 all the way up to 239. So it's a pretty good range there. We can see we've got 4 hybrid, we've got 7 solid, and we've got 6 pearl bowling balls. So we've got a pretty good little range of bowling balls here from Motiv. Now we just got to figure out, where do they fit? You know, what can we do? And how we're doing this is the actual number system is done like this. I call it building an arsenal by the numbers. We take the RG of a bowling ball and we subtract the differential and use them as whole numbers. So if it's 247 RG, 047 differential, then we're subtracting the 2 from each other. You get 200 or 200 for your total score. And now we got to take into consideration the cover stock. If it's a solid, we're going to subtract 6 points. To bring that number lower, because it's a stronger cover. And if it's a hybrid, we're going to subtract 3. Again, it's a stronger cover, not completely, not as strong as a solid, of course. But then if it's a pearl, which is going to give us the most skid, the most flip down lane, we're going to actually add 6. And the reason it's adding 6 compared to subtracting 6 from a solid is to make sure there is a big enough difference between a solid and a pearl. Because what I noticed before, when I was only adding 3, there wasn't a big enough difference, and you couldn't tell the difference really between some of the pearls and the solids. They kind of overlapped a little bit in certain areas. And sometimes you still see it, like you see you got a Trident Nemesis over here, which is a 209 as a pearl, and then you have a Venom Shock, which is a 208 as a solid. That's simply because of, you know, the weakness of the differential compared to each other. So that's all. But here we go. So we're going to build based on these numbers and try and figure out what we're doing. Most times, if we're building like just a 3-ball arsenal for league, I would recommend, you know, if you're using a spare ball, then obviously do a spare ball, a solid, and a pearl. If you're not using a spare ball and you just use normal bowling balls, then it's not a bad idea to do solid, hybrid, and a pearl. And if that's the case, going straight across generally works out okay. You get a choice of either, you know, in the solids, let's kind of read through these a little bit first so you guys can, you know, make sure we hear what bowling balls are available. But in the solids, from strongest to weakest, we have an Alpha Jackal at 187, a Jackal Ghost also at 187, the Forge at 189, and then we take a little bit of a leap. So there's a bit of a gap here in the solids. It goes from 189 all the way up to 200 in the Ripcord Flight. And then you have a Ripcord at 200 as well, a Venom Recoil at 205, and then the Venom Shock at 208. So right away, if I'm going to be critical, I think there needs to be some 190s in there, maybe 1 or 2 bowling balls that fit in that 190 range. And I guess, in a way, we already have that with the hybrids, and that's probably where they went with it. You've got a Forge Fire at 192 as a hybrid. You've got a Covert Tank as 196. And the tanks I put in the hybrid because it's that micropolymer cover stock. It's not pearl. It's not solid. It's not urethane. It's some new formula. So I'm going to call it a hybrid is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to put it in the hybrid section. Otherwise, the only true hybrid that they're calling a hybrid is that Forge Fire, which is that 192. So I guess I can't be too critical in that solid range, but I think I see a big difference between a hybrid and a solid. With that mixture of solid and pearl in there, I see a difference as far as ball reaction goes. So I would still like to see some like a 194 or 195 in the solid range, just because then you'd have a nice solid rounding arsenal with solids. And then you've got a tank blitz at 208, and then you have the desert tank at 239. And the 239 is so high because it's basically got next to nothing as a core. That's got 0.015 differential on it. So that kind of makes that number huge, even though you're going to see it roll early and be fairly strong. I mean, it's a pretty strong ball. And then in the pearl side, we have a Jackal Flash, which is one of the newest ones at 199. That's their strongest pearl, which is interesting to me because I thought the Trident Nemesis actually was a little bit stronger, rolled a little bit earlier for me, which that is at 209. And then you have a Supra at 213, the EJ ball, the VIP at 218. You get down to the Hydra at 224, and then the Thrill at 236. So good range in the pearls there. I like having 190s, 2.0s, 2 teens, all the way up to 230. That's good range there. So if you wanted to, you really could take something and you could go with like Alpha Jackal is a super strong solid, and then you could do something like a Covert Tank or a Tank Blitz as a hybrid, and then you could do something like the VIP, the EJ ball at 218, and that gives you 3 different spectrums there, to be able to have 3 different ball reactions for sure out of all those bowling balls, because you're going to have early and predictable and somewhat strong down lane with either of the alphas, and then with that tank, it's going to be early and smooth for the most part, and it's going to be controllable. And then with the VIP, you're going to get some skid and you're going to get some flip out of it. So we're going to probably set up a pretty solid 3-ball arsenal by doing it that way. And then if you are a more rolly bowler, you get your hand more forward, you don't spin it very much. Then I would be trying to get higher number solids, maybe get a Venom Shock in there, mixed with like another Desert Tank or Covert Tank, and then try and get like a Hydra or a Thrill, because you're already rolling the ball so far forward that you don't need the extra help to get it to hook so much. Your ball roll is going to get it to hook in the middle of the lane well enough. You just may need a little help getting it to pop down lane. So having the weaker covers on there will definitely help you get down lane and help you to create the motion you're looking for sure. Now, if we're trying to build a 6-ball arsenal based on Motiv, now we're going to do things a little bit differently. I don't know that I would want 2 hybrid or 2 tank in my bag, so we have to be careful with that. But generally, you would go 2, 2, and 2 to make sure you have enough. Or for me, I probably would go more like 2 solid, 1 hybrid, and 3 pearls. So if I'm going in that direction, for me personally, I'm going with probably a Jackal Ghost, and then a Venom Shock, and then I'm probably going to go with the Tank Blitz, and then I would go with the VIP and a strong pearl, so like the Jackal Flash. And that would give me a stronger pearl, a little bit weaker pearl, even though I personally saw the VIP read the middle of the lane better than the Jackal. I think a lot of it was probably because of layout, because they were such extreme different layouts. You saw a little bit of difference there, but that's what I would do. I would see the separation there. You got 20 points in those 2 pearls, and then you have the 208 with the Tank Blitz, and then you have the big difference in those solids over there as well. You have a real low solid and then a higher solid, almost 20 points there. So it kind of rounds you out a little bit, and it makes it to where you have good enough differences in your bowling balls to be able to create the motions that you want to create. We've got to be careful with having too many bowling balls in that same number zone. I see an awful lot of people who send me their list of bowling balls who have 4 bowling balls that are from between 192 and 196, and then they have one bowling ball that is like 230, and then another one at 210, and it's like, whoa, like you got one spectrum covered. And then you have no options basically outside of that. So just be careful when you're looking at these numbers. Make sure you have a big enough difference in a spread to be able to tell the difference. Now, remember, just because based on these numbers, okay, this ball's stronger than that ball, this ball's stronger than that ball, just because you have it based on the numbers, that doesn't mean that's how it's going to be out on the lanes. Be careful when you're actually out bowling. Sometimes the weaker bowling balls are going to appear as if they're stronger than the stronger bowling balls, just simply because of what you're bowling on, where you're bowling, and what that bowling ball is doing. Is it storing energy, or is it using up too much energy? So just you really got to have a keen eye in looking at that type of stuff. But that's kind of all I really wanted to do, was just go over the Motiv stuff there. Maybe we can actually, here, let's just go right over to the Motiv site, and I'll let you guys kind of take a look at what they have bowling ball wise here, and then you can see what we're dealing with. But this is what they look like. This is the Alpha Jackal, Alpha Ghost, and then the Jackal Flash. Obviously those are their high-end pieces, and then your medium to heavy oil, all with the forges, and then the Trident here in the middle, and then you have Tank Blitz, the Ripcord, and the other Ripcord Flight, and then the regular Ripcord, and then that VIP ball in that medium oil part, and then light to medium oil. I think this could probably be a little bit higher. That Venom Shock is the most popular ball they've come out with for sure. So that's kind of where they got that. Let's see what they got for bags here. Bags, they've got an awful lot of different ones here. Just kind of like all the other companies, they're pretty much the same thing. You got your tournament rollers, you've got your big wheel bags, 3-ball bags, and then your 2-ball totes and stuff too. So that's what that is. That's what we've got going on there. So Motiv has an awful lot going on. So for you Motiv fans, you're in pretty good shape as far as building an arsenal and all that stuff. So they're doing a good job rounding out their equipment for the most part. But like I said, I think I would want to see a couple of 190s in that solid, the solid bowling balls there. So Brett Spangler, if you're listening, that's my advice. That's all I got for you. Not that it really matters too much to most people, but that's where I would go with it. That's what I say. But anyway, I'm out of here. Make sure to hit that support button for you guys watching on YouTube. Make sure to hit that subscribe and like and comment below. Let me know what's your best 3-ball or 6-ball arsenal that you would use from Motiv, or from any brand for that matter. And let me know in the comments below. Or if you're on the podcast, make sure to hit that message button, send me a message, and we'll be able to get back and forth on that as well. So until next time, guys, I'm out of here. We'll see you later.